Hello and welcome to another dramatic reading by me, Androzani84. Today we're going to be doing the next 5 chapters of Sword Dynasty. I know I said I'd wait and see if I could get some guest hosts to do the guest written chapters, but I decided that's too much bother. Anyway, let's move on to chapter 11. First confrontation, Michael versus Skull Slash. At the base, the Power Rangers Sword Dynasty are exhausted and Marianne is cooking some delicious pizza, quite a departure from Mako. If you point out you're departing from it, it doesn't make you clever, it just makes you look petty. Despite her having some dislike for Michael, well, she'll treat him well, okay? Even the narration is confused as to why they suddenly like each other. I regret being too biased about Western food, Michael said. I have to admit I've been too ignorant. Charles added, well, that's what I used to think about Asians before too. Glad to have met you. Okay, I seem to have mixed up their voices. Never mind, I'll fix it in the next scene. Fat and Finn joined in with them, as well as Director Samuel Hung. Director Samuel Hung said, well, I'm glad that this generation of Sword Dynasty Rangers has become multiracial. Before it was just a team of Chinese men. The team enjoys their time after training. Just then, at the death vessel, Gedor is angered again. Is Skull Slash really up for the mission or not? Said Emperor Gedor, his inhuman eyes behind his black face mask glares. He soon begins to move his arms. That is exactly what it says. That wasn't me stuttering again. And attacks Erebus. Master, he is after the Red Dynasty Ranger, said Erebus. Ah, said Emperor Gedor. Do you have to remind me? Erebus fell down when Gedor gets mad again. Be careful what you say, Erebus. The Emperor's anger is never easy to control. His anger begins to cause new Ungler soldiers to spawn out. They begin to attack the city. Back at the base, a Power Rangers Sword Dynasty team get another distress signal. The sticks just don't give up. I said there's more anger, said Michael. Team sees an overpopulation of Unglers is hitting the city at once. Fat and Finn prepare their flags and the team dons their power suits for battle. They fight through a storm of Unglers. There are also giant Unglers. There are too many. I think we need the Sky Glider Zord, said Charles. Alright, said Michael. Let's combine the Sky Glider Zord. Yes, thank you for reiterating what Charles just said. Sky Glider Zord appears and destroys the giant ones. Michael, Roberto and Charles go down to help the others finish the job to their fancy sword techniques, which won't be described. What the? There are more? Said Marianne. Something's going on, said Roberto. Then, after a few more slashes, the Unglers aim at Michael. Marianne then gets worried about it, saying, Michael, watch out! Roberto wonders why. Is Roberto the narrator? Michael then witnesses the battle. He borrows Cornelius' sword and performs a fire and lighting attack to defeat the rest of them. Not sure how lighting and fire go together, but there you go. However, the voice of anger is seen. We see Gedor's headshot with a black face mask that covers everything save his eyes and some pale skin. The voice says... Please. Okay, back recording after I'd done some editing to the voice. At the death vessel, Gedor is feeling uneasy and green ooze leaks out of him. Vision of a pyramid, the vision of a battle is taking place. He begins to get angry again. My lord, I have found the ancient records of the Li Shan clan, said Erebus. Where the hell did he get those? Accursed, said Gedor. He began to fade away for a while. The Emperor sure is angry, said Lady Ling. Something must have upset him. We will send another warrior, said Erebus with a sneering voice. I'll be sending Beast Slash. Beast Slash arrived and said... Emperor Gedor is up to his hiding. Anyway, I'll do whatever work it takes to defeat the Sword Dynasty Rangers. Lady Ling then said, do as you need to do it. Just then, a flashback occurs. 5 Chinese warriors are seen, each underground. An image of a violent red beast attacks and they use their aura power to lock him up. He is sealed up, never to be heard of again. All this are in Erebus's mind. What the hell was wrong with that sentence? I'll let you decide. He, after all, has a dreadful secret that could lead to Gedor's downfall. At the Li Shan household, Director Samuel said, I think it is the Li Shan clan long ago fought against the Styx as usurpers in hopes to maintain the balance above and below. However, they were all killed, and the 4 vassals that served as rangers were also killed. The last lord tried to destroy the legendary beast of destruction and succeeded. However, for some unknown reasons, the kingdom was usurped. The Power Rangers Sword Dynasty began another training session. Apparently that story meant nothing to them. Just then they get another distress signal and are now confronted by Beastlash with an army of Unglers. "So here is the lord of the Li Shan clan," said Beastlash. "Doesn't look much of a threat to me. I'll just finish him." Michael confronts Beastlash while the others deal with the Unglers. Michael, after a long battle, is about to be blasted off by Beastlash, but Roberto and Cornelia go to the front. Both are injured. Ed and Charles shouts out for their names. Don't write him shouting out their names, right, but he did it. Deep in him, he feels like he feels Cornelia's pain even when he's not in it. What does that mean? Just as Beastlash is about to continue, Skullslash, no relation, appears and says, "Michael is my opponent. Step aside, will ya?" There's no question mark there, and I doubt he'd say, "Yeah." "How rude," said Beastlash. Just then, a battle ensues between the 3, and Michael picks up another sword to deal with in an awesome clash. After a rather hot battle and the other Rangers are out of soup because of the blasts, Beastlash retreats. Just then, Skullslash is disappointed. "This is not the battle I wanted," said Skullslash. He then transforms back to his human form and leaves. Back at the base, Roberto and Cornelia are getting treatment. Michael, on the other hand, is helping with food. Marianne brings some of the herbal soups he's just learned to cook. "Then it's probably not your best." "You need to rest," said Michael. Just then he's in his meditation chambers. His aura is burning bright before to their current defeat. Marianne, on the other hand, has begun to watch Michael from afar. Don't tell me he's developing feelings of the guy. Anyway, let's try and get on to Act 12. Combine Great Sky Dynasty Act 12. Combine Straight 8 Sky Dynasty Megazord. Last episode, we have Roberto and Cornelia in bad condition, and Charles can't help but panic at Cornelia's state. On the other hand, Michael is performing the ancient Chinese medicine ritual to help heal wounds fast, while preparing some herbal concoction only known by director Samuel Hung. Then how does he know how to do it? He's not Samuel Hung. Michael is now required to sleep. Marianne tucks him in, secretly hinting she may fall for him. Why? He's been nothing but horrible to her. Just then, Roberto and Cornelia were given their medicine as administered by Charles. Their bodies were restored to normal, but they needed more rest. Fat and Finn also assisted. "Michael may let us down at times, but he has hard determination," said Fat. "He's put so much effort into this." "No, he hasn't." "You're right," said Fat. At the death vessel up the shores near the river Styx, Emperor Geddor meets the defiant Skullslash. He was in his royal robes. He was about to empower himself, and just then, he blasted a fire blast. He placed his black face mask back on. "Who dares cross me?" said Emperor Geddor. Skullslash said, "Pardon me for rude intrusion, sire, but I want to finish off the Red Dynasty Ranger in one-on-one battle. I wish not to cheat this battle." I don't know." "You dare to try and figure out what's behind my mask?" said Emperor Geddor, sneering. No, he just asked for permission for a one-on-one fight. He fired a deadly ray of power and sent off Skullslash. Lady Ling and Arabus soon learn of it. They saw Skullslash in dire straits. The spell Geddor makes Skullslash knocked out. Wouldn't it be easy to put Geddor knocked Skullslash out? So he doesn't remember seeing what's behind the mask. Let's see how well this works. "I feel like the Emperor has a dark secret," said Lady Ling. "What if he is not the true ruler of this kingdom as he claims?" "I would dare not say that if I were you," said Arabus. "The Emperor is one furious being. Anybody who suspects him will die." Just then, Beastlash arrived to them and said, "I shall finish the job His Highness has sent." Just then, Geddor teleported back to the ship and gave permission. Back to the Power Rangers, Fat and Finn began to administer their care as they waited for a medicine to heal. Just then, Michael had awakened from morning. Marianne had cooked her next meal. "Well, it's nice to be back," said Roberto. "By the way, while I was asleep, I found we can actually counter our new enemy," said Michael. Just then, the enemy had returned and the distress signal is given. The heroes have begun to find out that the evil Beastlash has caused much damage. Already? Fat and Finn arrived to help the children that were hurt as well as the adults. Fat Finn, and all the servants. Take him to safety, said Michael. Apparently Fat and Finn are the only servants that deserve names. Michael finally finds Beast Slash afterwards. So we fought the last time, but it was interrupted. But that will all change, said Beast Slash. This time nobody will survive. I'll take care of him first. Get the others to safety, said Michael. Michael transformed into Red Dynasty range while the others must take care of the children. Michael fights the Beast Slash, but it's to no use. Just then the other four arrive in their suits now and decide to help. That should not be a decision. That should be a conscious choice. I think I know what to do, said Roberto. If we can just parry, but it will require us. Trust me. None of that made sense. Maria arranged a parry attack that would help defeat the monster. Michael then gave a counter slash at the time to use the shot bomb with the Tiger Zord powered. It's over now, said Michael. He fired the shot bomber straight at Speed Slash. Just then it's time for the second form and the Rangers form Dynasty Megazord. I think we can do this, said Roberto. Here's some plans I have figured out. Hey, that's great, said Michael. So how did you discover this? Well, it's just my imagination when I thought of what I discovered of Chinese culture. Well, I guess it might work, said Roberto. Let's summon the Sky Glider Zord, said Michael. Tiger Zord, Beetle Zord, and Swordfish Zord all appear to form the Sky Glider Zord. Time to use the Chinese character for super, read as Cho, said Michael. He drew a Chinese character and just then the Sky Glider Zord combined with the Great Sky Dynasty Megazord. Shouldn't it be combined to form that? What the? Said Michael. Roberto, I didn't realize that your imagination became reality. That's nothing. Just in case you forgot, you also thought of it, said Roberto. New combination was amazing and fought some flying giant unglers. Finally it was time to execute the Sky Slash attack. A huge leap into air and a rather powerful slash. Beast Slash defeated. We did it, said Michael. Just then Michael was tired and they went back. Michael said, well, we all need to rest. He then fell asleep. He did share some of his energy with us, said Roberto. He deserves some sleep. The others go outside for stargazing at the night. Marianne remained in the room, pretty unsure of her feelings for Michael. Why exactly would Marianne be developing feelings to Michael? Again, he's done nothing nice for her the whole time they've been here. Anyway, on to Act 13, Replacement Children. Wow, the Wayback Machine takes a long time to load. Okay, on to the act now. At the base, it's time for Marianne's new cooking lessons. She's trying to learn Oriental cooking. Again, Orientals is pretty racist a term. All she can. Fat and Finn are assisting her. As of right now, she's only been good to Western food. Well, she's always trying to do what it takes. But on the other hand, she's having her own scheme to get even with Michael. So she's not just turning into a fawning fangirl. I'll really make him pay, said Marianne. She can't stand such a cruel joke about her stuff being moved into his room. When did that happen? Said, doesn't mean I care about him, but I'm willing to be the bride of such a jerk. I've met better Orientals than him. Again, the Orientals, that's racist. I have this issue with miraculous ladybugs using celestial, and I have it with you using Oriental. Of course, Michael is practicing at the same time, daydreaming the whole fake wedding scenario. Oh god, not this again. The evil Gedor has suffered from a hangover. Back in his royal garments, some flower-like monsters with faces begin to hang and they get the nerves of Gedor himself. He blasts them out. Just when my level of dark water has risen, I fear that the Li Chan clan may bring back my permanent demise, said Gedor. Arbus and Lady Ling were scared. Gedor just had an encounter with Skullslash, who saw what's behind his mask. Arbus then says, Master, may I propose I send Duplicator to do this job? Well then, what can he do? Asked Gedor in a rage of fury. The room began to glow an eerie red glow. Just then, a new monster with a giant mace and a weird costume of red balls appeared. He then said, Master, I will do the job. My spell will cause children to be separated from their parents. That way we can increase the level of dark water. Don't explain how, it just can. It's a despicable idea. I love it, said Gedor, his human-like eyes once again revealed behind his mask. So is he human or is he a monster? Marianne is out there to get some supplies. In fact, he's been having nightmares of a wedding, even having a child with him. Do we really need this subplot? It's not funny. He decided to really get even, but she finds a child crying. Just then she discovers that while she sees white mannequins, which is misspelt, parents are trapped in an illusion and the children are crying for their parents. This is terrible, said Marianne. She tries to tell the mother that the mannequin is not her child, but to the mother she sees but an illusion. How dare you call my child a thing, said the mother. I mean, I kind of like that Marianne's actually doing that. She does have some heroic traits. I mean, she definitely cares a lot more than Michael obviously does. In fact, she calls the others to fight the monster. Duplicator appears and laughs. Wait, that was Duplicator? Ada? So this is a bad plot to destroy the children, said Michael. No, it's nothing to do with destroying the children. Just separating them from their parents. Let's fight! Just then the monster began to launch red living doll-like creatures on the 3 male members. They are left powerless. However, the monster runs out of moisture. Bad timing, said the monster. He retreats. It's bad timing, my master, said Duplicator, repeating himself. Oh, you nearly had them and you retreated, said Erebus. I need moisture for now, said Duplicator. Get on the other hand was something from another seizure. What is he really hiding? Just then the dark water unstable. I wonder what it will take to make it rise again, said Lady Ling. Just then Michael, Roberto and Charles are having a problem being clung by these new monsters on them. Michael keeps banging them but nothing works. Michael, I hope you can overcome your impulsiveness, said Roberto. You're just hurting yourself. I wouldn't call that impulsive, I'd call that just plain stupid. Michael discovers the situation is harder than it was. Realising they are like babies, the female rangers try to do some baby stuff to get rid of them. We begin to treat the babies like children until the girls could find a solution. What? Fat, Finn and the girls go to gather the children. They try to cheer them up, promising to return their parents to them. They dress up as Laurel and Hardy. Fat and Finn dress up as Laurel and Hardy, making the children laugh. I think doing a Laurel and Hardy act would make the children laugh. Just dressing up as bound to just make them confused. On the other hand, Marianne, exhausted after doing her part, dressed as a princess and Cornelia as a witch. Why did he make that change? I mean, it just seems random. At least the turtle and monkey costumes made sense in Shinken, so this is just weird. Monster Duplicator appears again. Why? The victimized male rangers go out of the base of those red monsters on them. The monster begins to laugh at them, saying, well now, meet your last! Marianne and Cornelia, however, appear in a nick of time. They transform. Let's finish him, said Marianne. Let's try that kanji I was taught. It should defeat the monster. Oh, now you call it kanji. Too late. Their efforts combined together, a monster Duplicator is defeated, and the red monster that clung to the males is defeated. Wouldn't it be better to say is dissipated? Michael, Roberto and Charles are relieved. Just as Mike is about to call for Shock Bomber, the monster enlarges. Why was he going to call it? The monster was defeated. Dynasty Megazord is now assembled. Men Duplicator uses the same technique to make Dynasty Megazord heavy. The same technique as assembling the Dynasty Megazord? I think I know what to do, said Michael. We're calling the Sky Glider Zord. The Sky Glider Zord appears and makes the monster heavy by pressing it down. The Dynasty Megazord draws its sword and attacks the monster while the Sky Glider Zord draws away. Monster defeated and the children returned safe. Vat and Finn were satisfied with the job of the day. Felicia and Vassal return each child to their parents. Don't ask how, they just know. Just then they're back at the base. Vat said, well, I guess even if I'm no Power Ranger, I'm still a hero. Thanks guys, you always will, said Michael. That response made no sense and that bit from Fat has no place in this, considering this is a Marianne chapter. Just then, Marianne had forgotten about her prank. Just then, as Michael eats his noodle, it's too spicy. He then reacts too much that Marianne brings him some cool water to cool down. Michael, I'm sorry, I can't believe I did this on purpose, said Marianne. I assume she was saying that sarcastically, because there's no way she would apologise to him. However, Michael liked the new spice. Will I attempt to make him forget about marrying her just to make her his bride? Backfired scheme. Well, I guess I don't have my regrets marrying you, said Michael. That's just got to stop, said Marianne. I agree with you, Missy. End of episode. Yeah, that was Akizuki's contribution to this video. Now on to the guest episodes. I don't know whether this next one is Mr. Smith or Fancy Leader, but I'll be sure to check as soon as the page loads. Any minute. Yep, it's Mr. Smith. Act 14, A Favour Return. The day begins with the Sword Dynasty Rangers practicing their martial arts outside their base. They're practicing their sword technique until a tall, stocky man appears. This man looks like an FBI agent, wearing a black suit and tie with sunglasses and a suitcase. The man's entrance catches the Rangers' attention, who stare back at him. How does a black suit and tie with sunglasses say FBI? I want a truck labelled Flowers by Irene be more obvious. The man then takes off his sunglasses off and Roberto instantly recognises him. Recognises does not have a K in it, man. Leonardo, shouts Roberto. Man and says, Roberto, it's been ages since I've seen you. Roberto and Leonardo then greet each other. The other Ranger confused about who the man is and how Roberto and Leonardo know each other. Michael asks, you know this guy, Roberto? Roberto responds, yes, we went to college together. He was my roommate. Leonardo then explains, I've been looking all over for you, Blue Dynasty Ranger. Roberto responded in shock. How do you know who I am? Later, Roberto and Leonardo talk quietly inside the base. The other Rangers watching behind a slightly open door. I heard rumours that Power Rangers existed, but I thought it was nothing but folk tale, said Leonardo. Why? But you still disbelieve. Eve, you're worse than that old lady. Until one day when I came back from Italy to visit some old friends from college. A monster breathed out this poison gas that made me sick. Then I saw you shooting out in the sky that cured me. I watched the battle and was amazed. Ever since then I've wanted to become a Power Ranger. I want you to teach me. Roberto responded, you want me to teach you? Yes, said excited Leonardo. Behind the door, Charles whispers. That is not how you spell whispers. Roberto, come here. Roberto then leaves the room, telling Leonardo he'll be right back. Behind closed doors, Michael asks Roberto about his friendship with Leonardo. Roberto tells Michael that he was from Italy and went to college with him in the United States. Oops, I've been giving him an American accent so far, I'll change it. Their roommates and both studied marine biology. Because he's the Water Ranger. I hate you too. The Dynasty Rangers then discuss their options. Send him home, said Michael. Guy shows up wanting to join you. Send him home. Charles then replied, that's easier said than done. He's friends with Roberto. And he included imposter in friends for some reason. He's passionate about being a Power Ranger like Roberto. He knows where our base is. It would be trouble if he kept coming back, said Mariam. Then we'll give him Ranger training and make it so hard he'll never want to come back, said Michael. This goes beyond asshole Rangers to outright villainy. Roberto, since he's your ex-roommate, you will train him as you wish, said Roberto. Roberto and Leonardo started the training by practicing karate kicks. The Sword Dynasty Rangers, the Shinkenzers and the Samurai Rangers all fight exclusively with swords. What part of the curriculum would karate kicking come in? First we'll practice a side kick, said Roberto. After Roberto showed Leonardo how to do a side kick, Leonardo attempted one on his own. Leonardo succeeded but felt the sun cramp his leg. My leg! Shouted Leonardo. Oh, are you okay? Asked Cornelia. Later, after stretching out the cramp, Roberto and Leonardo moved on to a roundhouse kick. Roberto perfects it, but Leonardo fell on his rear end after attempting the kick. Charles, Cornelia and Marianne started laughing at the scene. A man is in pain and you're laughing at him? Roberto, upset by the other Ranger's actions. Yes, call them out, Roberto. Gave him a glare of displeasure before helping Leonardo up. Roberto and Leonardo then moved on to Kendo. This is where they should have started. Roberto in a proper Kendo stance and told Leonardo, come at me when you're ready. However, instead of a Kendo stance, Leonardo had a baseball stance in which his grip was backwards. Enough, Charles said to Leonardo. This is a waste of our time. It's impossible to teach you how to become a Power Ranger. You don't have what it takes to become a Power Ranger. This is just outright dickery. Upset by Charles's words, Leonardo walked away quickly. Feeling sorry for Leonardo, Roberto followed. Meanwhile, at the Land of Sticks, Albert comes up with a new plan to defeat the Power Rangers. It's time to fight fire with fire, Albert said to Empagedor. I introduce to you, Fire Trunk. He breathes fire out of his nose. This guy could be useful, said Empagedor. Suddenly, Fire Trunk shoots a flame out of his nose. No duh. Burning up an ungler in front, which is two words, not one, of Empagedor. Impressive, said Empagedor. Lady Ling tells Fire Trunk, go to Earth and use that flame on the Rangers. I was gonna do it anyway, lady. As you wish. The Rangers will be nothing but ashes, said Fire Trunk. Back on Earth, Roberto finally catches up to Leonardo. Leonardo, wait, shouts Roberto, who's out of breath running. The dejected Leonardo says, it's true, isn't it? I'm not made to be a Power Ranger. I don't have what it takes. Your friend is right. You know what is the most important thing about being a Power Ranger? Asked Roberto. Leonardo responded, no. The most important thing about being a Power Ranger is to never give up, said Roberto. Even in a desperate situation, a true Power Ranger never gives up. If you give up now, you'll never become a true Power Ranger. It's a nice moral, but wait and see. Really? Asked Leonardo. Yeah, said Roberto. Then I won't quit. I'll train even harder to become a Power Ranger, said Leonardo. Leonardo and Roberto shook hands. Suddenly Roberto's Dynasty phone rang. Roberto answered. What's up? There's a monster attack on the city. We're heading there right now, said Michael. Roberto replied, I'm on my way. I'm coming with you, said Leonardo. No, responded Roberto. I'll make mince and meat out of the bad guys. That's not how you spell mince, said Leonardo. Leonardo, this is too dangerous. You could seriously get hurt, said Roberto. I can't become a Power Ranger unless I fight, said Leonardo. I'm pretty sure you can be a Ranger without fighting. Meanwhile, the other four Rangers catch up to Fire Trunk, who was setting the city on fire. Cornelia, morphed into her Ranger suit, stops Fire Trunk by throwing the land slicer at him. Fire Trunk dodged it, however. Power Rangers, I'm here to destroy you, said Fire Trunk. That's what they all say, said Charles. Let's go, said Michael. The Green and Red Rangers charge Fire Trunk, but Fire Trunk repels their attack. Michael then tries to use a fire attack on Fire Trunk, but Fire Trunk just absorbs it. Marianne then tries a wind attack on Fire Trunk, but to no avail. Fire Trunk then shoots fire from his trunk at the Rangers, who were unable to handle it. Dynasty Rangers realised that only Roberto's water attack could be effective against Fire Trunk, but he hadn't arrived yet. Roberto is then seen in the background arguing with Leonardo, so he has arrived. And also, as the live blogger Director From points out, why don't we just have Cornelia throw dirt on the fire? That would be effective. Leonardo then charges Fire Trunk, who shoots a flame at Leonardo. Roberto quickly morphs and shields Roberto in the process by taking a blow from the flame. Is Roberto the only likeable Ranger of this chapter? Fire Trunk is ready to finish off the Dynasty range, but is forced to retreat because he's out of moisture. Later, Roberto tells Leonardo, I can no longer teach you. Your lessons end here. Why? Asked Leonardo. Roberto then walks away, not answering. Okay, scratch bats. Roberto is also an asshole. The next day, the Rangers and director Samuel Hung notice that Roberto is depressed. Director Hung, it's nice to see him called something else. Kudos to Mr. Smith on that. He's concerned that it could affect Roberto in battle. Fat and Finn then come rushing in, telling Director Hung that Fire Trunk is back and is laying waste to the city. Michael then asks Roberto, are you ready? You don't have to worry about me, replied Roberto. I'll be alright. The Dynasty Rangers arrive to a scene of burning buildings. The Rangers then morph and do their roll call. You're not going to tell us the roll call? At the end of their roll call, they're surprised by the appearance of Leonardo, who calls himself the Brown, a Dynasty Ranger. The Rangers try to convince Leonardo to stay out of the way, but he refuses. Okay, I feel less bad for their mistreatment of Leonardo now if he's that stupid. Then Fire Trunk shoots a flame at the Rangers, knocking them backwards into a wall. Leonardo is down, injured. Rangers come to his aid, and enraged Roberto recklessly attacks Fire Trunk alone but is able to do nothing. The other Rangers come to his aid. Fire Trunk becomes a giant fireball and heads straight for the Rangers. Rangers de-transform from the attack and are hurt. The situation seems hopeless to them. At that moment, Leonardo gets up and shouts to Rangers, "You fools! The true meaning of a Power Ranger is to never give up, no matter how desperate the situation." Okay, I'm not sure how badly the lesson is mangled there, but I'll leave that up to you. Realising what Leonardo just said, Michael tells Roberto, "You have a good student." Okay, yeah, I'll admit that he has that going for him. Rangers get up and morph. Fire Trunk then tries another fireball attack but is repelled by Roberto's water attack. The other Rangers charge and attack a dazed and confused Fire Trunk. Fire Trunk then falls down after a wave attack from Roberto. Roberto and Leonardo then use the shot bomb on Fire Trunk, defeating his first life. Fire Trunk then grows into a giant. The Dynasty Rangers then call on their Zords and form a Dynasty Megazord. Fire Trunk fires at the Dynasty Megazord, but then Roberto calls on the Swordfish Sword. The Swordfish Sword to water attack repels Fire Trunk's fire attack and then gives Fire Trunk a tail whip somehow. Roberto orders the Swordfish Sword to fire its missiles on Fire Trunk. Michael and Charles then call on the Tiger Zord and the Battle Zord to form a Great Sky Dynasty Megazord which defeats Fire Trunk with a powerful slash from its sword. After the battle, Leonardo tells Roberto that he no longer wants to become a Power Ranger and he wants to return to Italy, rendering this whole chapter pointless. Surprised, Roberto asks, "But what about all the training and courage you showed during battle?" Leonardo replied, "You've taught me everything I need to know about being a Power Ranger at Frey. I can do the same back home in Italy, just call it a returned favour." Rangers smile at Leonardo. He then tells Roberto, "Farewell, Roberto," and walks away in the sunset. It's nice to see that Leonardo's going off to be his own Power Ranger in Italy. If someone write that fanfiction, it'll probably be better than this. Okay, the next, it's marginally better, but there's a lot of grammatical errors and the Rangers were even more unlikable than usual. Well, we'll finish up with the incredibly long Act 15, which I may have to put in another video. This is written by Chris X, known for Super Sentai vs Super Sentai. He apologises profusely for this chapter and its monster. You'll see why. Act 15. Who is who? Asterisk, if someone said things in italicized word, it means they're using foreign language. The impersonator counterpart in Shinkenza also uses English words a lot. And you decided to keep that instead of, I don't know, changing it up. It's morning, and as per current, the Power Rangers were in the training ground. The lesson for the day was about blade grasp, where they tried to catch an incoming slash with their bare hands. Okay, that's something that they might need to know. Of course, they're only using wooden swords, not real life swords. Even director Samuel Hung knew where to draw the line between training and serious battle. Does that mean that he'd really kill them at some point? Because I'd love to see him do that. Okay, come at me, honey. Michael, who was first to go, knelt down, prepared to grab any blade. One to strike the sword to him was Marianne. Thus, once again, he teased her. He was wearing their wedding ring back in episode 8. But is he wearing it now? That phrasing is unusual. Again with the teasing? Why do I have to be your bride? Forget it. There's no way I'm signing consent that I married you at my own free will. Marianne pouted in annoyance. While on the side, you can hear Roberto, Charles and Cornelia whispering at how they'd look good together. Why? Why do they think they'd make a good couple? Further pending her up. Hey Michael, want to make a bet? Suddenly Marianne asked. You couldn't grab my strike, you'll stop calling me honey, alright? And I can get rid of your stupid wedding ring and quit being your wife since I didn't consent to marry you. That's all, really? I'm in, Michael asked with confidence. Then come at me with your best shot, my dear. Hit me with your best shot. Fire away. With no more words to say, Marianne raised her wooden sword and struck down. And Michael perfectly grabbed it. Oh God. Whoa, that's incredible, Cornelia praised. Here, I can do that as well, Charles snarked cockily. There's no way that I can't do things like him. I'll show him. Well, looks like I win. Honey, Michael said triumphantly. Just as he got up, his foot met Marianne's sandals. She stomped at him again after he kissed her at the lips. I still reserve the rights to be annoyed at that, though. Tough being your unofficial wife, just so I could stay with the team preparing your meals and all, she lightly answered. That did not sound light, and it was weirdly phrased. Well, putting that aside, Charles, you're next. Michael's still aching with pain of being stomped at. Yes, I feel the pain forever. Then turned to Charles and Roberto. You're to block the strike from Roberto. All right, bring it, Charles says. He stepped forward and knelt down. Charles, good luck. Cornelia cheered on him as Charles replied with a confident smile. Right, here goes, Roberto said as both took position of striking and swung his sword downwards, attacking Charles. Charles tried to grab the sword and he ended up too late, getting struck on the head. Ow. Well, that was uncool, Michael commented. You should concentrate more. Oh, shut up. I'm trying my best here, Charles protested. One more. He asked Roberto again, but the result was still the same. You lack concentration, Charles, Roberto reprimanded him. You need to clear your mind for that. Oh, don't tell me who you were thinking of. He then eyed at Cornelia, who suddenly blushed. No, I wasn't thinking of anyone. I'm not like Michael, whose head is full of Marianne, Charles protested, which garnered Marianne's annoyance as she attempted to step forward and stomp on Charles's foot, but Cornelia managed to restrain her. Why would he attack Charles? I mean, he's sticking up for her, I think. Still, even my head is full of other things, Michael protested. I can still grab the sword just fine. Listen to Roberto at times, Charles. Really? How about we switch, Roberto? I strike, you grab, Charles offered as he got up. Ooh, okay, you watch how it's done, Roberto says. He knelt down. Charles raised his sword and struck down, but Roberto managed to catch it. Charles was still holding the other sword on the other hand and went ahead to smack Roberto's body with it. Ouch, what was that? Ha, you lack concentration, Charles shot back at Roberto. Just remember that attacks can come from any directions. But isn't this training about blade grasping? Roberto asked. This is not about taking attacks from all sides. Guys, could you please stop? Cornelia tried to break the argument, but Charles finally has had quite enough. Ah, that's it. I'm off for a walk, he said as he walked away carrying his wooden sword. Hey, where are you taking that wooden sword? Michael called him out. That's still the Lee Shan family's property, not yours. I'm borrowing it in case I get so pissed I need to swing at something, Charles answered one last time as he walked away. I hope he doesn't hit anything in accident from that, Michael commented, looking at Charles from behind. Meantime, in the land of Styx, Lady Ling was seen playing with her instrument of music. What is the instrument though? Is it a shamisen, a guitar, a harmonium? Wait, no, it can't be a harmonium. It has strings and it's old-fashioned. Well, this is a beautiful tune you had, my lady. However, says he approached the she-demon, feeling relaxed. However, just when he got close, he felt that someone was approaching. From the outside, another Lady Ling was seen. What is this joke? What is this joke? Her voice was rather cold, bringing confusion to Arabus. There is only one Lady Ling. Wait, you're Lady Ling. So this one's, Arabus said, still confused with what's going on. Tricked by someone you always read on your book. Pathetic. Lady Ling chuckled as she turned to her imposter. I gotta give it to her about what? I mean, if Arabus called him this monster, he must be dumb to fall for his own trick. Isn't it time you earned Miss Joke impersonator? With a laughter, the other Lady Ling turned into a monster clad in both red and green colour. Ha ha ha, as I would expect from the one who summoned me. You got me now, Arabus said, admitting defeat. Your Majesty, Lady Ling in turn bowed to Emperador. This impersonator can take form of anyone he saw. I suggest that he be sent to the human world to cause chaos to the humans and those Power Rangers. Interesting. This will add a huge amount of dark water. Emperador nodded. Now go, impersonator. Sow discord of a trust between humans and those accursed Power Rangers. As you wish, your majesty. Impersonator said with high confidence spoiler. This is going to be one hell of a show. Please watch me. Who's he talking to? In times of annoyance like this, Charles would have gone to the nearest game centre and played his favourite fighting game. But he didn't. Instead he went to a nearby woods and tied his one sword suspended on a tree branch. So he's pretty much just stole it. Damn it, everyone can do it, but why not me? This is so annoying, Charles grunted, preparing to swing the sword away. Even if he's mouthing off with Michael Muras, he did take their words to his heart, and as he pushed the sword to swing it around the branch, and it's tied on. Concentrate! Charles tried to concentrate and grabbed the sword and failed again. Damn it, it's too hard. After hours of training, he became a bit tired and decided to visit a flower shop. Being a botanist, apparently, one of the refreshing activity he did other than hitting the arcade was visiting flower shop. Sorry I kept you, the girl was seen approaching a man in the shop. Ah, there you are, honey, the man says after a white rose of the girl. I made this grow just for you. Thanks. Oh, Charles said he suddenly daydreamed him doing it with Cornelia. Ever since that matter insulted Nathan, he's grown to respect her, maybe having a bit of a crush on her. Until suddenly he came back with sentence. What was I thinking? I'm not a dreamy guy like that Michael. Careful, Charles, you're turning into Jan there. Yeah, he said, slapping his cheek. I'm not crazy for anyone. You remembered on how Michael kept teasing Marianne. That was a proof alone that he sure liked her, and even Marianne has been less violent to him. Oh God, Marianne's falling under his influence. And that line of thinking was interrupted yet again when another woman, looking and dressed similarly with the woman given flowers, suddenly arrived. Hey, what was that? Double timing on me? The man stammered as he looked at the two girls. Cinema Sin's voice time. Charles just happens to walk into the same shop where impersonator is planning his evil deeds. Ding! Ding. Both were completely identical, even the late-coming girl was genuinely shocked. Ah, you numbskulls cannot even tell the difference. Baka. Apparently that wasn't in a foreign language and it's not italicized. First girl suddenly said cockily, adding up a Japanese phrase and turned into the impersonator, shocking both couples as they ran and he started making chaos in the flower shop. Now wait just a minute, Charles rushed down and kicked the impersonator away. How dare you do this to my favourite flower shop? Nani? You're... Impersonator tried to identify him. Well, you must know, I'm Charles Trent, and I am, Charles said as he transformed into a Green Dynasty Ranger. The best Dynasty Ranger there is, Green Dynasty Ranger. Those pesky Power Rangers, Impersonator said as Charles began to strike him until he's out of the flower shop. Unglers, come to me! But he called forth a bunch of Ungler soldiers and they all started attacking Charles. Charles could handle the fight just fine until Impersonator drew two swords and attacked Charles. He could keep up just fine until, hey, like that Michael said, real battles can be used for training too. Here goes. When Impersonator tried to slash him, Charles instead dropped his sword and tried to grab the blade. And missed, and he got a slash on the head for his trouble. Thankfully he's in the Ranger form or that would have killed him for sure. Crap, he thought as he fell down unconscious. Yatta! I'm claiming the first Ranger head, Impersonator said excitedly. Emperor Kiddo is going to be pleased. Wait! But the act was interrupted when Michael and the rest of the Power Rangers arrived. They didn't see the impersonators. How? Though, so they just fought against the Younglers. On second thought, I've got another brilliant idea. Impersonator says he used his ability to take form of Charles when he casually walked to a battle. There you are, Charles, Roberto called out, followed by Marianne, Michael and Cornelia. What took you so long? Hurry up and transform, we got a battle going on. Charles, are you listening? What the hell? Charles said cockily. These anglers are not opponents worthy of someone my class. You can handle them on your own. What did you say? Roberto was angry as if Charles was insinuating that he's his slave. Yeah, this is part of why he apologised to the monster. Charles, you're joking, right? Cornelia said worried. That's it. I'm off for some booze. Charles says he walked away but turned to a Power Ranger again for another chant. Abayo! Charles, wait up. Marianne called out again but was ignored. Michael chose to be silent for this matter. Eventually the team wiped out the Younglers. They were disappointed at the acts of Charles. What was he thinking? Roberto couldn't believe what Charles was insinuating. How did we not notice that Charles was speaking Japanese and he never does that? The Scottish accent is entirely my own thing though, so there's a reason they won't notice that. Slavery was once a sensitive thing for him, and at least Michael did not treat him like one. You had to bring up slavery concerning the one black guy? No, you didn't. Let's move on. Michael, don't you think Charles is... Cornelia tried to ask Michael, sensing that something is wrong. Guys, suddenly the real Charles appeared, having just regaining his consciousness. Here, speak of the devil, Michael commented. Well, you left us to take care of the youngsters since they're none of your class, Michael said annoyed. Happy now, hero? None of my class? What? Hey, what the hell? Charles said confused. I was... Charles! Roberta couldn't take it anymore and grabbed Charles by his collar. What the hell do you think of us? You're slaves? Know your place! Slave? Roberta, you're just making things up, Charles protested, pushing Roberta away. Charles, you didn't do this, did you? Cornelia asked concerned. Cornelia, come on, you've gotta believe me. I was fighting a monster, then he knocked me unconscious. Charles tried to reason with Cornelia, but Michael stepped aside. Charles, you disappoint me, he said, unusual to his normal attitude. It was like he's as cold as an ice king. But at times, Charles realised that when he's mad, Michael can be scary. Do you really consider yourself a Power Ranger? If you do, you should know that such act is unworthy. Afterwards, he turned away, gesturing to the rest to go home. Let's go. As the Power Rangers left, Charles was so frustrated he punched the ground. What gives? Ah, damn it! Behind the bush, however, impersonators watching. This is so fun to watch! Meantime, Lady Ling was looking away from the castle behind the sticks. She missed her dear Skull Slash who was thrown away by Gedor. Where were you, my dear? Charles did. What? Director Samuel was shocked at the turn of events. Yeah, Mike could only nod. I guess that Charles has shown his true nature, Roberta said, still annoyed Charles going. He's the selfish type who only thinks of himself. I've seen him make some quite snide remarks at Michael. From what I heard, he doesn't like... That's enough, Cornelia certainly said out loud. I just don't think Charles is that kind of person. Maybe he's having a bad day. Okay, Charles and Cornelia are the only likeable characters. And Leonardo to an extent. Bad day? Mary called past James Edson. That time he got frustrated because he couldn't do the blade grasp properly, right? That's right, honey. You might just be frustrated, Michael said, but was interrupted with a stomp. I was just trying to line the atmosphere. Bad timing, Michael. Bad timing. At any rate, Michael and Marianne are right. Charles might just be frustrated. He'll be back to his own self for sure. Director Samuel finally gave away. Even at times like this, you shouldn't feel so down. Otherwise, you can't fight against the Styx Empire. Always keep your heads up. Nice to see our mentor actually acting like a mentor, which is a problem Power Rangers has had for a while now. As such, Roberto once again trained his swordplay. While training, someone threw a branch which he deflected easily and bent a rather strange looking balloon. When he slashed it, it turns out it was filled with mud somehow, and they all covered a good portion of Roberto's face. What the? Who's there? Roberto yelled out, and behind the tree, Charles came out. Whoa, nice face, Charles said. You make a good mud swimmer, Blackie. Yep, our monster's a racist. That is why Chris X apologised for his origins, since he admittedly made him racist purely to show that you should not support this guy. But he admits he may have gone too far. What did you just say? Roberto extremely pissed that he lost his cool and tried to chase after Charles. Not only insulted his ethnicity, he also insulted one of his specialities, swimming. But he spent his energies training so he couldn't catch up. Damn you, Charles! Roberto cursed. He heard Charles is laughing. Meanwhile, Marianne was baking a cake, particularly cheesecake, helped by Cornelia. Wow, this would look great if Charles came back. He'll surely be pleased, Cornelia commented. Yep, I made it specifically for him, Marianne says. You open the oven, the cake's ready. Alright, all done. Taking it outside, finally they were ready to eat until Marianne said something. Would be nice if we had some drinks. Fat, Finn! Marianne asked Fat and Finn to pick up some soft drinks until Cornelia interrupted. I'll do it. With that, Cornelia got inside. Wow, that's one kind girl, Fat commented. I wish I had a girlfriend as cute as her, Finn added. Gee, that's some wishful thinking, Marianne thought, chuckling at how Fat and Finn did their nondescript antics. Just then, however, someone approached the table. It was, "Oh, Charles, I made these especially for you. I hope you feel better." Well, no, thank you. Charles just blatantly refused and suddenly grabbed 2 cakes and shoved it to Fat and Finn's faces. "Hey, Charles, that was..." Marianne tried to protest, but Charles took 2 more cakes and shoved it onto her face instead. "Nice faces, you 3, Charles taunted. "Keep at it. I'm gonna take a picture of it soon. Sayonara." With that, he left, laughing all the way, leaving a really pissed off Marianne along with Fat and Finn. "What was that?" Finn said. Annoyance. My beautiful face," Fat sobbed, but couldn't help to lick the cheesecake on his face. "Charles, you punk." Marianne was fully annoyed at that when eventually Cornelia arrived. "Sorry I'm late. I was busy picking the..." "Oh." Cornelia was surprised at what just happened. "Marianne, did something happen? Why do you ask about Charles instead?" Angrily, Marianne got up from her seat and went inside to wash her face, followed by Fat and Finn. "Charles," Cornelia muttered as she head out. "Let's see, Charles likes playing video games. I should go to a game centre." Cornelia thought as he ran off, heading to the game centre where he usually hanged around. What's his favourite game again? Tech. Ah yes, Tekken 6, Bloodline Rebellion. As Cornelia thought, she found Charles playing that exact game. Except that since his mind was full of frustration, even he lost the computer. "Ah, damn it, now I lost. I don't get it. Why did they..." "Charles," Cornelia asked. "Huh?" "Oh, hi, Cornelia," Charles asked, but Cornelia's next words did not please him. "Why, Charles?" she asked. "Why did you do such thing to Marianne, and even Roberto too? What the..." "Look, I didn't do it, okay?" Charles insisted. He walked with the crossing bridge of Cornelia. "I was at that game centre all day." Apparently we'd gone from a game centre to crossing bridges, somehow. "I wanted to believe that too, Charles," Cornelia said. "But at that time, it was really you, right? You look at him and you think I lie?" Charles said loudly and held Cornelia glaring at him. "Look at these eyes. Are these eyes of someone who'd lie?" "Stop bullying Cornelia, Charles." Suddenly Roberto's voice was heard and he was there along with Marianne. Both looked equally angry. "It's not making you look cool." "Wait, I didn't." "Roberto? Marianne?" Charles was surprised at their faces. Both had cleaned themselves up before confronting Charles. Why is he confused? What's with that face? "There's a limit of what's prank or not," Marianne called out. "I thought Michael calling me honey was annoying, but you turned out to be worse. Suppose his company was better. At least he didn't pull nasty things like you did." "Hey, wait, you're not serious, are you?" Charles tried to defend himself. "We're damn serious," Roberto yelled. "Mad swimming, Blackie. You sure know how to pick your words." "Huh? When did I ever say that?" Charles confused even further. "I don't even know if you want to be a Power Ranger or not," Roberto said. "Fine, you do what you want, and don't even come back to our base again." "What? That's it?" Charles was also equally pensive and eventually walked away. "Really don't want my company? Fine, I'll leave." "Charles," Cornelia called out, but she was ignored. Also equally angered, she then turned to both Marianne and Bernard and shouted, "You two, you're so cruel." "We wouldn't be so cruel if he didn't start it," Marianne said. "Look, we didn't want to do this, Cornelia," Roberto defended. "But Charles, he crossed the line. We have no choice." Charles, it's not like that," Cornelia says. He ran off, pursuing Charles. "Charles," Cornelia eventually called up to Charles, who's just standing on a bridge. "What now? I'm not really a Power Ranger anymore, you know," Charles said, completely dejected. "Don't leave us, please," Cornelia said. "We're a team, right?" Yeah, is what I'd like to say," Charles said. "But Roberto, Marianne, they all refused me, even if I followed some of them as equals. I'm not some typical Western guy who looked down on the Eastern or black guys. If you know what I mean, but now they're looking at me like that. Pretty sure that Michael felt the same as well." Nice as it see Charles has developed out of his racist self. But sadly, this is the last episode focusing on him. "Maybe they would, but I'll never refuse you," Cornelia insisted. Such words touched Charles's heart. "Charles, you always have a place in my heart. Maybe Gedor sent out an imposter to make fun of you." "Imposter?" Asta. Suddenly Charles remembered about how he impersonated the 2 couples and said, "Cornelia, you come back to Michael. I'll catch up later. If I go back there, send me away," Charles said. "Don't worry, I know what to do next. Listen, He then whispered some words to her. Okay, Cornelia nodded, finally smiling, and ran off. Later on, impersonator was once again walking around using childish form. Well, you can tell by the way I use my walk on women's men, no time to talk. And was running around, kicking. Was he running or walking? Kicking trash at him. Hold it right there. Suddenly his path was blocked by Michael and Muir's. What now, Mr. Mighty Asian? Charles said. Want to pick a fight? Charles, you bastard! Roberto clenched with anger. Oh, if you want a fight, I'm prepared with one, Charles said as he yelled, snapping his fingers, summoning a bunch of unglers. Unglers? Charles, so you defected to the Styx Empire? Marianne didn't want to believe it. Dirty traitor, I will punish you, Roberto said as he prepared to attack. Ha ha, this is going to be so kakoi, Charles said excitedly as he pointed forward. Attack! Oh yeah? Suddenly another voice was heard and the English were attacked from behind, being wiped out with a gust of leaf storm. Afterwards, the real Charles revealed himself. You were 100 years too early to impersonate Charles Trent. Oh dear, two Charles? Marianne was shocked at the revelation. Unbelievable, there's an imposter? Berta was no less shocked. Why did none of them consider this? I told you that Charles wasn't like that, Cornelia said triumphantly. Michael, you knew this all along, didn't you? Berta said as he looked at Michael, who still kept his too cool face. Of course, Michael said. First off, Charles isn't the type of guy who'd spout out Japanese words out of whim. You should have noticed that he has some sort of dislike to the Eastern culture. Yeah, he grew out of that. The moment he said Abayo back then sealed the deal that you were a fake. I see that Michael is the only one with a brain. Too bad he's not the only one with any charm. Hey, I'm not like that anymore, you know, Charles said. Still, that means you just got busted. Ha 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 ha. Charles started laughing ironically. You don't seem to know what ironically means. Till he suddenly turned back to impersonator. Honore Kisama Yurasanai! Again of the Japanese phrases, Mike said. That's not going to make you look any cooler. Something the author should have taken into account. Come on, guys, let's go. But Charles jumped back to the line of the Power Rangers and the five transformed to fight. Fight ended up getting dragged to a mountainside where eventually impersonator disarmed Charles with his sword and prepared to slash him again. There was no choice for Charles but to use the blade grasp again. Concentrate, Charles muttered as he closed his eyes, and eventually he managed to successfully grab the sword. Good, that's how it's done, Charles, Roberto praised, clapping his hands. Not satisfied, the impersonator tried to slash again, but Charles this time grabbed it with his feet instead and used the momentum to kick him away. Charles, you're so cool, Cornelia joined up in cheering, while Charles eventually jumped back to his tent. Okay, Michael, the shot bomber, now, he said to Michael, who nodded and summoned the shot bomber and destroyed the impersonator. He then grew in size as a retaliation, forcing the Power Rangers to summon the Sky Glider Zord, and eventually sliced him in two, destroying it. With just the Glider Zord, back in the base, everyone took turn to apologise to Charles. Alright, I'm really sorry, Charles, Roberto bowed down, completely regret what he said to Charles. Oh, come on, you know it was just an imposter and you couldn't tell the difference. No hard feelings, Charles said. You shouldn't have doubted you like that, Michael said. We're at fault for now. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm really sorry I yelled at you, Marianne said. And, Cornelia? I'm sorry I didn't believe in you, either. Cornelia wasn't exactly sure what to say except blushing, knowing that her bonds with Charles saved the day. Well, at that, I'm glad that it's over, Director Samuel said. I'll have to be more careful now. I get this experience will strengthen your bonds further. Yeah, thanks, Director, Michael said. Oh, speaking of that, Marianne, Charles said you preferred Michael's company to the pranks, didn't you? What the? Marianne suddenly said, did I really say that? She looked at Cornelia and Roberta and just nodded with sly smiles on their faces. Then she looked at Michael and looked at her with a rather big grin in another attempt to kiss her. Marianne ended up blushing, still unsure of her feeling for Michael, who forced her into a topsy-turvy relationship. But at any rate, she decided to cover it with approaching Michael and stomped him. Why me? Michael says he held his feet. Not just you though, Michael says he approached Charles. Charles knew what's going on and put his feet away when Marianne tried to stomp at him. Nuh-uh, I know you're seeking to attack Marianne. You're not going to stomp me, Charles taunted lightheartedly. Charles, you, Marianne annoyed. Catch me if you can. Playfully, Charles ran off with Marianne chasing her. Get back here, you cheeky little, said Marianne. Anne, why don't you just go to your husband now, said Charles. And another day, a part of Power Rangers by experience strengthening their bonds. What does the future have for these young Rangers? Will they win against the Styx Empire? Tune in next time. So the last two chapters were slightly better, but they had their own problems, like Mr. Smith's weird misspellings and Chris X's bizarre grammar. But yeah, they're definitely much better than Akizuki's normal fare. Too bad this is Chris's only contribution, and I think Mr. Smith has one later episode. Not to mention another appearance by Fancy Leader later on. Anyway, until next time, goodbye.